This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in beautiful Hollywood, California to celebrate and honor Ronnie James Dio's 80th birthday and the release of Dio's debut masterpiece, Holy Diver, now remixed and remastered, here with former Lynch Mob vocalist Oni Logan. Oni, tell me about your relationship with Ronnie James Dio.
1989, Ronnie, he was the man that got me out here. We met in West Palm Beach on the Sacred Heart tour. I was an inspiring singer. I wanted to make albums. We met backstage, and later that turned into the bar at the hotel with Vinny and Craig and everybody, and we had such a great time. He said, listen, here's my number. When you come out to LA, be sure to call me. So I made the trek out to LA. He eventually ended up producing a demo with Angelo Acura at Sound City. That was with a band with Mark Ferrari from Kiel in this band called Ferrari. That led into getting a deal with MCA, but I shortly after left to join George Lynch.
You got your deal with MCA, but you never recorded with that deal.
No, they brought him another singer to finish off the album, so unfortunately we didn't get to record together, but I ended up recording with George, the first Lynch Mob album.
How did you end up recording with George? Did he hear you first, or how did that come about?
It was through John Alderetti from Racer X, the bass player. George was like, who's the hot singer in town? Who's the new guy in town? And John brought up my name. That's how that happened. I was gigging around with the band Ferrari. We were doing this whiskey show, and George and Mick showed up and kind of took over the backstage area, said, this is our next singer, and made a whole drama fiasco in the dressing room, which is notoriously known to have gone down as a big wobbler. But eventually I accepted the offer from George and Mick to come out to Scottsdale, Arizona to make the first Lynch Mob album, and it was a great platform for me to start my career off of playing with a guitar hero like George and the platinum success that he had from Dokken.
A couple highlights.
Writing our first songs together, one which was the single, which was Wicked Sensation. He introduced that song to me in a garage somewhere in Scottsdale on a hill. And then the second one was Sweet Sister Mercy. And I knew exactly, right then and there, I knew I struck gold with this guy because I knew exactly what I was going to do to these songs. And those were the first two songs. That was a pivotal moment for me, as well as doing the videos for Wicked, doing the video for River of Love, playing Long Beach Arena with Alice in Chains opening up for us, wow. The young Alice in Chains. It was Lynch Mob, LA Guns, and then Ozzy and Mike Inez. That was his first big show. We were just texting a couple of days ago, remembering that, and that was like my biggest show, the Long Beach Arena. It was fantastic, a dream come true.
What was the road like for you, mentally and emotionally?
Me and Anthony Esposito, the bass player, we were just the new guys. We'd never been on a tour of magnitude that big, you know. For us, opening up for Cinderella in these major arenas, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 seaters, it was a long, cold winter tour, and it was unbelievable to be under the spotlights with that power of what Mick Brown brought to the band, as well as George's expertise of wattage and playing ability. It was just stunning to find myself under a spotlight. With the spotlight on me, I felt, wow, this is just, I'm getting chills thinking about it. It was every rock and roll kid's dream come true. It really was. And I have to thank George for giving me that opportunity. I really do.
Having fans and having them approaching you at these shows.
We did a Tower in-store meet and greet in Long Beach. The line was across, 2 blocks, and it was amazing. I could not believe that. We did one in Miami. The fans were just wonderful. I mean, they came out and were really looking forward to see what George and Mick were going to do. Wicked became the single, River of Love, and all of George's fans came along for the ride. And today I just got approached by Ramon, which is a Spanish fellow who brought the Lynch Mob first album and then Smoke and Mirrors and asked me to sign it. Those little perks when the fan comes up with these albums, I don't even own those albums, you know what I mean? Where can I get them? Anyways. He had me sign them, so it's a great pleasure for me to do so and be involved with the fans still and say hello and have them say some nice words about the albums that we had done together.
And then going back to Ronnie James Dio, That's amazing that he produced your first demo, man.
The first demo, he got in the vocal booth with me, and I could not believe it was surreal. And he said, I want you to sing it this way, and he would interpret the way of the phrasing, and then he beat the hell out of me in that vocal booth. I know you can do it better, mate. I know you can do it better, mate. And after about 100 of those, he got the best vocal performance out of me that I think anybody has ever gotten out of me. He was the guy. He knew how to get enough power, because he knew that I loved the blues. He loved Rod Stewart. He loved that Jeff Beck stuff. And he was just fantastic in the studio to work with. I've got pictures from that studio session, and I'm just happy that I was able to capture that moment with Ronnie in the studio and to know him, and to later in life pay homage to his legacy with the hologram tour, going out with the Dio Disciples, representing and singing those classic rock songs from anywhere from Stargazer to Gates of Babylon. I mean, come on, that's any singer's dream come true. I mean, those are the records that I used to spin. I ordered them from Columbia Records, and I was 16 years old, and there was no way that I was going to keep up with this man's voice. But he was the answer for me when Zeppelin had taken a hiatus. I heard Rainbow. By chance, late hours on WSHE in Miami, Florida or something. And I had to have this album, and I had to know who this singer was. And that's how I became so floored and enamored by the voice of Ronnie James Dio, and playing that album over and over, Rainbow Rising and Long Live Rock and Roll. I would eventually get to the point where I could kind of keep up, but if you would have asked me 30 plus years later, or 29 years later, that I would be on stage representing this legend, there would have been no way in hell I would have ever imagined. So it's a great honor to represent Ronnie and be amongst the family, and being here at Ronnie's would have been 80th. Actually, there's a huge cake with his image on it that's going to come out that everybody's going to get a taste of.
Your favorite song off Dio's Holy Diver Up?
Gypsy's great. Shame on the Night.
Don't talk to strangers.
Well, obviously, everybody loves that. Everybody. It's so heavy. The sound of that recording, the chemistry between Jimmy Bob Bain, Vinny, Vivian, and Ronnie, of course. I mean, that sounded like a real band in playing live together. It was so stripped down. The musicianship was there, but ultimately the songwriting was there. And Ronnie was a craftsman as a songwriter. He really knew how to build a song. That album is just wonderful, a masterpiece.
What inspired you to name your daughter Delilah?
My Delilah. Da, 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 da. No, Delilah, I just thought it was a wonderful exotic name, and she's here tonight giving out the passes for the 80th Ronnie James Dio birthday bash. I can't be more than proud of her. She's turned into a lovely little lady. She's gorgeous, and thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. She's wonderful. She's the apple of my eye.
You did well.
Thank you, Eric.
Oni, what are you up to now?
Well, I've been in the studio writing for a solo recording. I've been writing with two brothers from San Diego, the Zolo brothers, and we've got a couple of songs that we've already cut, and it's sounding really good. We're going to reactivate that and get back into writing some more. I've been approached by a couple of record companies, so that's positive, and I hope to have something out here by wintertime, hopefully out under my name or under a band name. I'm not sure what it is at the moment. We also have in the workings to take out Ronnie again, but not in a hologram form. We're going to be taking him out, paying homage to him with big screens and special effects. So somewhat what Queen had done for Freddie. So it's going to be that kind of delivery. And we're going to bring on the musicianship, and we're going to do it with honor. And I think Wendy will give us our marching orders probably November, December, maybe. If latest January, I'm not sure, but it's in the works. They're designing all the effects and all the images for that tour as we speak.
Have you been approached by Frontiers?
I haven't, although they have approached me to sing on a few projects. If I don't have anything to do with the writing, because I like to write lyrics and melodies, and that's where I come from. If the song's already written, I don't mind if it's a good song. Not to say that they didn't present good songs to me. It's just I'm not about that. I'd like to be part of the molding of it, chiseling at the peak, at the stone, from nothing into something. Work for hire, my arms could be twisted if it's the right amount of money, but I won't sing over.
Oni Logan.
Thank you, Eric.
Blairing Out with Eric Blair show with Oni Logan at the Rainbow for Dio's 80th birthday party. Peace out.
The Blairing Out Show.